Hi guys, this is Robin with Weight Loss Apocalypse, and it's Friday. It's been a long week. Okay, this is a clip from a session that I had with a woman who came to me on the HCG protocol, and she had done it previously multiple times. Her first round, like most people, was awesome. She felt good. It was easy for her to follow. But somewhere along the line after that first round, things really started getting warped. And so she found my YouTubes, read the book, and then decided I just have to work with her with this round, to work with Robin with this round, because I don't know why I can't follow it anymore, why I'm binging, why I'm going a little nutty, I'm becoming more and more miserable. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Anyway, so she reached out to me on the very low calorie protocol, and come to find out, she only has 15 pounds to lose, which means she's a horrible candidate for the HCG protocol, and it's an indication she's anorexic, or at least trying to be, or a dysfunctional anorexic is what I would call it, meaning they believe in that thinner ideology, they believe in that thin supremacy, they believe in the ultra lean idea of what health is, and they have this catastrophized reaction when they don't have that perfect body. So in essence, they might not look anorexic, but they have the shame and the feelings of horror about their body, even if it looks normal, like an anorexic would. She's in her, I don't know, 40s, late 40s, and she's fatiguing and tiring and doesn't want to do it anymore. So this is a clip from this most recent session that we've had, and she's really struggled, if not flat out rejected the idea that she can accept her weight. So in order for me to help her, I have to accommodate and adapt and try to get her from within where she's at and what she's willing to do, to at least give it grace. So the beginning of what you're seeing is the kind of the beginning of that, or the end of that conversation. And then we start going into the HCG protocol and why it's dangerous for people like this, and where and how things can turn out for people like her who have these significant and radicalized idea of what their body should be like and how it's projected into dieting. This client has done everything: phentermine, honest paleo, ketogenic. I mean, she's done it all. And so she's, I feel sorry for her just talking about it, just because it's miserable what she's doing. But now she's doing, once again, the HCG protocol. So she came to me on it. She chose to jump off of it, which was not what I had recommended. But then once she got off of it, she was losing all control, going back into binging. And the whole time I'm like, here's how you stop binging. But she's like, I have to go back on ketogenic. That's what I'll do. She couldn't do that. She was still binging even with ketogenic. And then she's like, I got to just jump back onto the HCG protocol because I need those really tight controls to get myself to stop. Which is really common, that people think if I go back on the HCG protocol, it will keep me from binging and it will keep me safe. It gives me a set of controls. So she gets on it last weekend again. And I had recommended her, if that's what you're going to do, do it. Again, because I'm working within what she's doing. And lo and behold, within days, she can't stand it, doesn't want to be on it. So she's swinging back and forth, the pendulum swinging. So we're talking about this. And I know a lot of people who've done this. And it sucks. Not only is it horrible for their mind, their emotions, their spirit, it's terrible for their body. And so, not a good idea when people have this disordered eating, or this underlying eating disorder, or body image syndrome. The protocol is a horrible option unless you have the physicality that would make sense of it, and you have addressed and resolved the underlying body image issues. So, this session is amazing. Almost the whole thing is in the Patreon account. If you want to get help, I'm available to you. You just need to go to the website that's down below. Fill in a consult request form. I usually get back to people within a few hours. If you want to follow my most recent sessions with current clients over the course of the last year and a half, you're going to need to become a Patreon supporter of Weight Loss Apocalypse. The link to Patreon account is below. It's $5 minimum a month. And you're supporting my work, my writing, my next published books. There should be a couple over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. So, all right, enjoy. Human needs. And it doesn't fit. That's where you have to reassess both sides. You have to go, okay, I have to look at not just my body image, but I got to look at what I'm doing. Which one needs to be adjusted, and can I adjust them both slightly?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
And I totally realize I think I've been unrealistic for so many years. Like, just wishing, like, oh, poor me. Why can't I be, why am I 5 feet tall? Like, okay, well,
there's nothing you can do about it. Exactly. So you get over it. Yeah.
And why do I have this muscular body? Like, I don't want to be, I want to be long and lean. Like, maybe I should do Pilates.
Oh, yeah.
That's not going to work for me because that's how I'm built. Like,
yeah, you have to go into acceptance is the key word here. You have to at some point go into an acceptance. Again, there is this balance. For most of the people I work with, it's all or freaking nothing, right? All or nothing. And their symptoms are horrible. They're not only depressed, but they have suicidal tendencies. They're miserable, and we got to get rid of the entire body image completely. Overhaul, like shut it down, black it out, right? In your case, it's not an option. You're not there. So how can I assist you when you want to keep that? So the best thing we can do is say, okay, get lenient around that weight. We're not blocking it out. Get lenient. And then we got to look at your restrictions because, okay, you're going to do this very low calorie protocol, right?
Well, see, that's the question I had for you. It's kind of like, okay, so I have 15, 20 pounds.
Okay, so I just want to honestly pause. Hold on. On a side note, I would never recommend the protocol for you. If you came to my clinic, I'd say you need a head doctor. You need to go get a specialist. You're anorexic, not a good thing. But you're doing it on your own, and I'm just assisting, right? I'm assisting in this other aspect. So I want to make sure that you're aware that I would never, ever recommend it for you. A doctor who prescribes HCG for someone that needs to lose 15 pounds should lose his license.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Just making sure that's aware. Okay.
And I'm totally okay with, I trust your opinion, and because I was kind of like, okay, I'm so freaking sick of like chicken and vegetables, like it's making me like eat chicken, and I'm like, I'd rather just not even eat.
I got it, but here's the thing: there's a reason why, in terms of your recovery, knowing that that's what you're going to do, why I would support you.
Right.
Because it's your.
I know.
You need your.
Yeah. I know I need to. I know I need to get this little bit of weight off.
Yeah. So to me, it's now we're using the protocol, or you're going on the protocol, and I'm seeing this as a benefit to you in the whole picture. Like, I could see this. I know what's going to happen. She needs to go through this. This is going to benefit her.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
If for some reason I can't follow it, like, to a T, and it's going to mess me up more if I were to, like, have a few cheeses or something, then should I just go about losing it in a different way that may be slower, but healthier, I guess. Or so to speak.
So again, that is a great idea if you are capable of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lost, it's not like I've only lost weight
I know that. I know that. But remember when you came off the protocol and you decided you were going to do ketogenic, and then you're like, I have to do something drastic. And that was the last time we talked. And I was like, yeah, I know. So I got to be severely controlled to figure this out. So open your mind to just observe the patterns and because everything you're saying is idealistic if you didn't have these issues. Right? It's like in a world where I was rational and I didn't have impulsivity and I wasn't obsessive compulsive and I don't have this extreme collectingness, right? It would work out like that.
Yeah.
And you may have in the past not have been as frantic, may not have been as like inflamed, if you want to call it that. You may not in the past have been as extreme about it. And that's usually when people are more lenient, more gracious, they don't have the same impulsivities. This is where I believe the HCG protocol is absolutely dangerous because it can create this insanity for people who are prone to it, right? It's like the perfect environment for someone with disordered eating to end up with an eating disorder. Okay, and you're living it, and I'm witnessing it from the outside, going, yeah, this is what's going on. It becomes like bulimic. The protocol becomes like a purge for people who are in the presence of, I have to lose it now. Not I gotta lose it later. It's I gotta lose it now. Like it's super intense. It's like, and so you're kind of in that position, and it would, if you can get yourself to go, it doesn't have to happen now. It doesn't have to happen in a year. So what that might do is get you to relax. Just relax. Right?
And I think I go back and forth, and I think once I get on it, and then I'm like, God, this sucks,
Well, but when you're not on it, let's keep in mind you're fantasizing about what it is. That's what it's going to be like, and you get on it, and reality sets in. No,
it's like, God,
my fantasy is wrong. It's wrong. You assume, don't you agree? You assume, well, it will, because I will be feeling thinner and I will be losing weight, it will be worth it because I won't have to feel this horribleness that I just can't feel. It's horrible. I hate it. I'd rather be on a starvation protocol. Right?
Right. And then once you get on it, you're like, well,
being fat's not that big of a deal. I can totally.
It doesn't need to happen instantly, and that's not necessarily even the healthiest way because it doesn't really stay off,
Well, it's not going to with this type of extremism, right? Like it's a pendulum swing going from one super far right side to a super far left side. And how do you get it to not keep on swinging that high when it's being thrown and heaved back and forth? Yeah, it's hard. This is hard. I'm
honestly willing to not do the protocol. I don't feel as immersed.
Yeah, right now, what I want you to go into within yourself is what's realistic. I know what you're feeling right now, which is restricted and pissed off about it, and like, this is sucky. I get that. See the pattern. I want you to witness it rather than have to control it. Just witness what's going on.
Yeah, I totally I totally witnessed it. I didn't think that I would. I didn't think it's kind of like what you're saying with the first time doing the protocol. It works really great, and then the other times because then you're not like.
You didn't emotionalize it the first time. It was an experiment. It was like, I'm not getting involved because this might not work. It's an experiment. So you're detached emotionally from the first round. So you're actually allowing the process to occur and giving it an honorable effort because you're curious. There's a curiosity about if this works. How did you read Dr. Simeon's Pounds and Inches?
Parts of it.
Yeah, fascinating. So there's a curiosity around, wow, this is really actually can make some sense, and there's some science. And so the curiosity and the fact that there's skepticism is why the first rounds are so successful. At least from all of my observations, that's what I've concluded. I could be wrong. There's got to be research to actually validate that. But the fact that you're not attaching all this emotional baggage to it is why it works, and why it's not so impulsive, and why you're more relaxed about it and a witness to it. Once someone interjects their emotional baggage, meaning I want to hit that number, I could be thinner, and then they start getting all that delusions of grandeur, right? The pride, and look at me, I'm so thin, they're hitting these weights that or a size that, with other alternatives is like freaking impossible. So all of a sudden the ego gets inflamed. The narcissistic core of the ego gets sucked into this, and the pride of it. Once that happens, it becomes extremely, your focus goes from distant to myopic. It's really close in your face, and you kind of you become obsessive about the scale, and you become you become also, the other side of that is really lenient on the actual protocol restraints, because you're now approaching it as if it's a diet, not a medical procedure or hormonal therapy. Right. So you give yours, and we start to use those. Well, I can eat that, and then tomorrow I'll be perfect. Oh, I'll just do an apple day. So it's kind of begins this, where this is you can't do that. It's the reason why it's called a protocol, not a diet, or even a restriction. Right. It's a protocol. You're pumping in a level of HCG that has been shown in laboratory investigation with uteruses or placentas that promotes the most explosive amount of leptin. And leptin is a hormone that is extremely amazing in that it not only allows your body to fuel, but it also allows your body to basically metastasize its fat. So you get more fat cells and proliferating fat cells the more you have. Right. So you're fucking with that.
Yeah, that's
on top of the inflammation that you already have because of your eating disorder. So it's like you're taking HCG on top of this raging brain that's inflamed.
So probably not the best idea.
No, but at the same time, it's the solution that you want. So this is where you have to look at emotionally. It's the only thing that really gets me going, right? It's like your crack cocaine.
Well, I thought
it's your meth.
That's what I thought, and then now I'm like, well,
I want my food. This is too restrictive, too disconnected from people. Is it really worth it? So remember when I said to you, you're kind of flip-flopping between I'm a victim to the body, I can't do this, this is horrible. I'm a victim to what it's doing to my life and how I feel about it. To I'm a victim of what I got to do to fix it. Notice when you're in one position, the rescuer like when you're feeling shitty about your weight or about the potential of weight gain, that the diet seems so appealing, so realistic, and so amazing.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, when you're in the restriction, your primal animal stuff starts to come out, and you start to be obsessive about you think about food all the time. So you are probably in that position where you're constantly thinking about food and what you can't have and what you want and what's there. The mouth is watering with everything that you can't eat. And then when you do eat the food you eat, you're going into this probably a position of feeling sorry for yourself because it's so bland. What that tells me is the end result you're looking for is super frail. It's fragile. It's not very profound. It's very superficially oriented. That tells me that your goal isn't about the body, it's about your emotional desires for what it can give you, right? When someone is, let's just say, using this protocol because it could potentially reverse their polycystic ovarian syndrome, they're going to be a little different, don't you agree? In how they approach the blandness of the food for that temporary period of time. Yeah. You don't really have any physical problems. It's all distortion in your head. It's called cognitive distortion. You catastrophized your weight and the size of those clothes. It's catastrophe. This is where so many people think, oh, she's not overweight. She doesn't know. She has no idea how bad this is. Yeah, she does. It's a psychological problem. In fact, you could say if you were just bigger, it wouldn't be this bad. But you're trying to maintain a lower weight, which makes it almost worse because you're paranoid. The paranoia, the defensiveness, it's like you have to hide. It's sketchy, right? And so this is where it's miserable. It's miserable. So how do we work within what you're willing to do? Well, the best thing I can suggest for you is to, as much as you can, you need to be truthful with yourself. Stop believing your fantasies because you keep on thinking, I'll just do something lenient. And you're like, you couldn't do that. Because you're coming off of this kind of animalistic, you're in an animal state of hoarding with food. You're shoving it in your face because you're aware, I cannot eat it, I cannot eat it. It's going to go away, So one of the things that you might want to consider is you could go off the protocol because the protocol of, if you can already tell you're only 2 days in that you're starting to, which I'm not surprised, right? I knew this was going to happen, but you needed to experience it again. You had to go through this again to go, okay, here we are again. It's not what I thought.
Yes, you're right. You're so smart.
No, I'm just practiced. This is, you're not the first rodeo, dearie, but it is for you. It is for you. And I understand that. And so that's why I'm giving you all this grace, because this is your first rodeo trying to fix this. You've never thought that this needed to be fixed in your life until recently.
Right.